What's up, Minecrafters? This is Casey, and this is a path that I've been working on for, I don't know, a couple of days. And basically, what I was trying to do is to have an easy way to get from my desert village, which is just in that direction, to a mesa, which is in this direction. And I really love the way this path turned out, except for the creepers that appear along the side of the road there. But this path, I tried to sort of follow the contour of the terrain, and it's really turned out really well. I'm pleased with it. But today we are going to be looking at an abandoned mine shaft that I found. I was walking back along the path, coming from the mesa, which again is in this direction, and I saw this cave that I didn't notice the first few times that I went by it. And I'm glad that I did because, again, I found an abandoned mine shaft just really close to the entrance. And it's the first abandoned mine shaft that I found in Pocket Edition. And it's just right down, very close to the entrance of the cave. I do expect to find quite a few monsters today, so in my inventory, I do have the best tools that I could make, which unfortunately at this point is iron. I don't have a lot of diamond yet, but I do also have some food and some torches. So today I'm going to be exploring this abandoned mine shaft. So the entrance of it is here, and I don't think it goes very far this direction. It doesn't seem to anyway. But just back here, closer to the entrance, I can see a spawner. And it looks like at this point that it's empty, but looking at the amount of webs, obviously that is a spider spawner. So one of the things that I like about the abandoned mine shaft is that it should give you the ability to collect quite a few different types of resources. If nothing else, because of the way it cuts through the terrain, you'll find certainly coal and iron and those types of things. But it's also just a good place to collect fence and wood, probably some tracks and those types of things. So again, today I thought I might explore this abandoned mine shaft, and I'm kind of grateful that that first spawner was empty, because I don't want to run into those right away anyway. But if you do find one of those, and I'm just assuming that this works in Pocket Edition the same way it does in PC and console versions, if you just place torches all around the spawner, it will prevent the whatever mob is in there from spawning. So I hope that we won't run into too many spiders, but again, I do expect to run into quite a few mobs as we go through here because, again, I do play on a difficulty of hard. So it looks like this mine shaft is kind of broken by the cave, but again, I am seeing some tracks, so that'll be great to follow these and pick these up. See some coal here, so that's going to be very helpful. But I want to explore this just a bit and see where this leads and see if there's anything else. I just got hit by something. Maybe a skeleton? Not seeing him, but definitely took a hit there. So there is a zombie. But this seems to be a pretty good mine shaft, seems to be spreading out quite a bit. And again, that's good because I'm hopeful that I'll find quite a few resources. So obviously I'll be able to come back and harvest these wood planks. And again, I think that's a great way to pick up some resources very quickly. Some people, I think, try to preserve their mine shafts, but I don't. I look at it as sort of free materials that were provided by the game when we first started. I do notice my sword is starting to run low. So I wonder if I use, yeah, that seems to work. If you use shears, you can also collect those spider webs. But I really need to be careful with this sword because there's not a lot of life left in it. So I will be careful of that as I explore here. So there's a spider, and he's decided he wants to attack. And I did bring some food with me, so that should be good. I have a few pieces of bread. And then I think I also have some baked potatoes, and baked potatoes make a really good health restore. I think just as good as bread, if not better. So that should work out well for me. Um, yeah, I'm going to run into quite a few mobs here, so this could get a little difficult. He's stuck in that spider web, so that made it easier. Yep, this mine shaft seems to go on quite a few different directions. So again, for today, I'm just going to explore it a bit and maybe try to light it up and come back later and get these materials. There's a couple of skeletons there. Really worried about my sword. I didn't realize that it was in as bad a shape as it was when I first came in here. To be careful of that. And I like the fact that this continues to go down, although this doesn't seem to go anywhere. But I would like to find a way to easily get down to some of the lower levels to try to find some diamond. And usually I find those, well, when I'm going looking for diamond, I typically go to bedrock level. Wow, this is not good. I'm out of swords. So I'm going to have to try to fight these guys off with an axe. And I do have a bow and arrow with me. But again, when I'm looking for diamond, I try to go down to bedrock level and then come up to maybe level 9 or 10 and see what I can find there. And that's where I tend to find most of the diamonds. If you can find a cave that goes down that far, that's really helpful because you don't have to do a whole lot of mining. But I have also done some branch mining before, and if you don't know what that is, you may want to look that up. But it's a fairly efficient way to try to find various types of blocks when you're mining. And I've used that successfully to find some diamonds, but I don't have enough diamonds yet to make a set of tools or anything like that. I am currently wearing a full set of of iron armor, so that's helpful. Especially in this area where I'm going to be finding a lot of mobs as I look through these abandoned mine shafts. And I think I've already explored this area, and it's also very easy to get lost in these abandoned mine shafts, but typically you can find your way back without too much trouble because there's not a lot of openings that you can go through. This area is kind of interesting because it almost looks like where two shafts have run together. I've already explored that, so I think I'll just keep going this direction. That looks good because that goes down a bit deeper. Well, it looks good with the exception of this zombie here. Again, I think I'm going to run into quite a bit of those today. So I just have to try to kill him with my axe or whatever I have. So I don't think that this is going to go very deep. It doesn't look like I was close to the surface when I started, but maybe I can find a way to go further down and get closer to where I might find some diamonds. So this guy, let me take care of him. So it looks like another part of the shaft runs beneath this one. So again, that's a good sign that it may be going further down. And I hope I have enough torches. I made quite a few torches and brought those with me. There's some iron. I will definitely come back and collect that. Quite a bit of coal I've seen so far, so that's all good. And again, this does seem to be a pretty good mine shaft because it seems to be branching out quite a bit. And I'm hopeful that it'll keep going. I'm just interested in seeing what all types of things I find. Again, I'm familiar with mine shafts in the PC version. But again, this is the first one I found in Pocket Edition. And it seems like my game is starting to get a little bit laggy. I don't know if that's because it's having to load chunks or exactly what's happening there, but hopefully that will clear itself up. I don't like the lag, and I haven't really experienced a lot of lag as I've been playing with the variations of 0.9, but I've experienced a little bit, and I do play on an older tablet, and I've been asked about that before, how I play and how I record. And basically what I do is I play Pocket Edition on an Android tablet, and this particular tablet has an HDMI output port, and so I'm running that into a capture card attached to my PC. So I do all of my recording to the PC and then do some editing there, and that seems to work out fairly well. As far as audio, I have a Blue Snowball microphone that I use, and that's a USB microphone, and so that attaches straight into my PC, and then with the recording software that I used with my capture card, it automatically adds in the commentary that's being captured through that Blue Snowball. So again, that seems to work fairly well. Haven't had a lot of issues with it. Had a couple issues, some minor technical glitches with the capture card, but those seem to work themselves out after I reboot, and it really only happens after I've been playing for a while. So a reboot typically helps that out. And then every now and then from time to time, I don't get maybe a good commentary capture, and that's frustrating because then I basically have to start all over. Because it's no good just to be right in the middle of a video and realize that you're no longer capturing audio. And I can see that on the screen with my capture software. But sometimes I don't notice, and I get to the end of the episode and I go back and play it and review it and realize that maybe 15 minutes into it, I stopped capturing commentary. So I have to start all over. I do make backups of my world, so I can always go back and start all over if I have to, but I never like to do that. I like to sort of do that first time capture. It's a little more real, it's more live, and I think it just always, the first one is always better. Never perfect, but always better. So that's my recording setup, just in case anyone is interested. Again, it seems to work fairly well. The capture card, I don't think I mentioned this, but the capture card that I use is an Elgato Game Capture HD, and again, it just plugs right into the a piece or a HDMI port on the tablet, and then a USB port on my PC. So again, that seems to work well, and the Game Capture card got quite a bit of good reviews when I was looking at purchasing it. So again, I've been pretty happy with that. So this is interesting. There is another spawner, but I don't see any spiders in it, so I may just work around that a little bit and see what's down at the end of this hallway. At some point I probably will find a spawner that actually has spiders in it. I think I see something at the end. It might be a creeper, so I'm going to have to be careful about that. But I'm going to work my way just down to the end of this and see what we find. Quite a few spider webs, so there has been spiders through here. Good number of spiders, I would say, looking at the number of webs. So there's another spawner. Is there a spider in that spawner? I don't see one. But just to be safe, I'm going to place some torches around. And again, I would assume that the Pocket Edition works the same, and that would keep those spiders from spawning. Probably would need more torches than that, though. Just to be safe, I place torches, or typically place torches all the way around those spawners when I find them. It's kind of interesting, though. I found 3 spawners so far, and none of them have spiders in them. So I'm not quite sure why that is. But again, in some ways, I'm kind of grateful that that's the case. But it would be interesting to find one of those with the spider in it or some other type of mob in it, so that you could maybe build up a mob grinder around it. And I think that would be a pretty interesting project to do. So there is a creeper here, and he is getting through those webs. Let's see if I can get him with bow and arrow before he gets out of that web. Is he still stuck in the web? I think he can't get past that spawner. And there's another creeper down at the end. So I'm just going to keep making my way down there. This feels a little foolish on my part, but let's see how far we can go. I'll have quite a bit of spider webs here. Main use for those, I think, is probably just making wool from them. There's a skeleton. Can't take care of him. Doesn't look like he's shooting at me, though. That's kind of interesting that maybe they can't shoot when they're caught in spider webs like that. Again, this is all a bit new to me. I've never... again, this is the first mine shaft that I've ever found. So here comes that creeper. I'm going to have to try to take care of him, I think, with my axe. See if I can do that without getting killed. That wasn't too bad. He got stuck behind that stone block there. So this is kind of an interesting area of the mine. A few spawners through here, but no spiders in those spawners. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Now, I don't know if I was to try to grab one of those spawners, what would happen if the block would just disappear, or if you could actually place it in your inventory. I know that when you're in creative, you can place a spawner like that, and then you can tap the spawner with a certain type of egg, and it will spawn whatever type of egg you tap into it. Just playing around. I've done that before with even villagers, which is kind of fun to see the villagers come out. And you can populate a village in creative mode pretty quickly. So I'm not sure. I may have fully explored this mine. But again, I'm going to come back at some point, and I'm going to gather all of this material, all the wood planks, all the fence. And yeah, sorry about that. That guy caught me off guard a little bit. So maybe, yeah, I've not fully explored this, but it's going to be interesting to go through the rest of it and see what I find. It's kind of interesting there. Feels like, or looks like there might be some type of shaft above the area where I am, but I haven't yet found a way to get up there, so at some point I may try to dig up to that. Seems like I've been in this area, but I haven't been down this hallway yet. And again, there's quite a bit of tracks here as well, and I'll come back and collect those for sure. Run out of torches? Nope, I have some torches left. Again, I did make quite a few torches before I came down here. Tried to be as prepared as I could, but I didn't have much of a sword when I came in, obviously. But that hasn't been too much of a hindrance so far. Not quite sure where I am. I'm a little bit turned around. A little bit lost maybe, but again, it shouldn't be too bad to try to find my way back out. So at this point, I'm going to say that I've explored the majority of this. I'll keep looking. If I come up with anything interesting, I'll be sure to post that. But at this point, I think I'm going to end this episode here. It's been an interesting episode for me, again, because first time I've found an abandoned mine shaft. And also, as interesting is all the materials that I'll be able to gather from it. So again, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next episode.